Yes, good morning, people. How y'all doing today? I said I would make this video before I head over to work. I really feel it's important because I want particularly a lot of the younger guys to know. I think it's important to know how it was, back in the early 2000s, as far as meeting chicks in public. Now I know nowadays the stuff I've seen on YouTube, you have this boss chick era. You got women talking about they don't need a husband, they don't need a man, they want they want providers. All this these young bitches promoting the 304 life, basically casually talking about prostitution and how much money they made on this date and that date. It's all connected, man. It's all connected. You know what I'm saying? Marriage being a get rich payment scheme. Well, back back in the 2000s, early 2000s, it wasn't like that at all. It wasn't like that at all. Now I'm gonna take you back to a time around 2004. I'm over here on Tremont, basically where the old Third Avenue L used to be. I'm on Tremont, not far from West Farms train station on the 2 and 5 line. I'm gonna take you back to around 2004. Back around that time, late 90s, even before like mid 90s, you could just walk all over, mainly the Bronx and East Harlem, Spanish Harlem. You used to get a lot of program chicks, you know, fine Puerto Rican chicks. Actually, like the I wouldn't say like late 50s born baby boomers. You know what I'm saying? The kid, the people that were the children of the people that came from Puerto Rico in the 50s. So like back then, back in the 90s, like when they was like in the mid 90s, when it was like pushing 40 years old and stuff like that. Late 30s, around pushing 40 years old to like their mid 40s, early 2000s. They used to be out here heavy. Even some of the younger broads, early 70 born chicks. They used to be out here heavy still looking good. A lot of program chicks in rehab programs, welfare chicks, you know, even chicks that used to use, drugs, whether it was heroin or, crack or cocaine, but they were functional. They weren't crack addicts. They weren't addicts. They were functional. They still looked good. Well, I met this chick. This is back in 2004, summer 2004. Her name was Vanessa, and she used to just roam around Tremont. Fine Puerto Rican chick. I think she was half Puerto Rican Colombian. I think she was born in '66. She was 30. She was 38 years old at the time, and I met her in public because back then you could just meet those type of chicks I just described in public. And like I was saying before, these women, they were the children of the people that came from PR in the 50s. These were like the late baby boomers, late 50s born women from Puerto Rico that were living in New York City between Spanish Harlem and the Bronx. Then when I met this chick Vanessa in public, man, she was beautiful, man. Nice, Curvy hips, nice big behind, wide hips. Only thing, she used to do, I think, cocaine. So I met her. I was kicking it with her, and got a phone number. Got a phone number. And I wasn't driving at the time. I was staying with my step parents. But every time we'd link up, all you had to do was give a chick $20 so she can get high, and she was good for for at least 4 hours. That's how it was back then, and it was probably even better before. During the '80s and stuff in the '90s, I was a kid in school. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't exposed to that yet, but I can imagine things were even cheaper back then. The women, they were more looser back then. I never did drugs. I don't even smoke cigarettes. But this is what I call living life. I'm a single black male, and this is when they use the term enjoying the single life. I enjoyed my single life. I'm still single, and I have no shame. I have no children. 47 years old. I'm a proud Gen Xer. I boast about my generation, how we had it so good. 21 years later, this is 2025. That those type of chicks that you see is like a needle in a haystack. Because you figure those late baby boomers, you know, these women, like, they're like in their 60s. A lot of them passed away, whether they had gotten sick or overdose, cancer. You don't see them anymore. Even the ones probably just over 50 years old, you don't see them anymore. You know what I'm saying? The ones Fat Joe's age and Big Pun's age, the early 70s born babies, you don't see them no more. What we have now, we have the 80s babies and the Gen Zs. And I can tell you right now, they're not even out here. They're not out here. That's on my last video I did. What happened to all the women of the night? I should have I should have changed the title. I should have just put down night/day, because I mean I used to meet these chicks during the day as well, more so. But for some reason, Tremont is not the place it used to be. The only time you see bitches out here is like when school is out. You see all these women picking up their kids from school. Ain't no one out there trying to get, ain't no program chicks out there like that. Because the Gen Z era, they not doing nothing for no $20. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? They're on a different mindset now. Basically, they just trying to like soak a man dry for everything that he has and overprice. But the fact of the matter is, whether we have inflation now, whether things are expensive now as back then, I don't see no program chicks. I don't see no 20 something year olds, 30 something year olds. Even the millennials, the older ones, late 30s, early 40s. I don't see them out here like how the women before them used to be out here. Even during the goddamn day. I could walk from my house in Parkchester. I can walk Tremont Unionport Road, all the way to Tremont and Webster. All you see is a bunch of young bitches on their goddamn smartphones and migrants and older Spanish women and pretty much shopping with another man or something like that or some nonsense like that. Nobody's out here the way it was back in early 2000s. And that's why I think it's so important that I want my video to be viewed by a lot of younger guys out there because this needs to be known. Everybody talk about the common things about how women used to be in a marriage and this, that, and the third, which is good because people need to know that too. Marriage was not just 50-50. You were there for someone out of loyalty. It wasn't all transactional. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the female getting everything, feeling that they don't have to put in no elbow grease. And then when the female don't want to be with the man no more, not because he cheated or he stole from her or some nonsense, just on the mere like emotions, they want to file for divorce. And the court system actually allows this to happen. The courts are at fault. The courts should be penalized too for allowing this to happen. But I guess the reason why the things are the way they are now is because of Me Too, the Me Too movement. And I really think that if Kamala Harris became president, a lot of, I don't think you'd be seeing no more women out there like how it was back in the day because they would feel too empowered. And this is just directed to the generations coming up now, mainly Gen Z. I mean, we still have escort sites. They got rid of Backpage when Trump was in office. They got rid of City Vibe. But no one wants to go on those sites. You know what I'm saying? I'm from an era where you saw chicks in public. You could meet a sober chick with a job or in college, or a chick that's addicted to drugs or something like that. They're still a female. They're still a human being. And I've dated chicks that were sober and clean, about two. One back, I think, in 2002, another one 2004. It's just not happening now because of the mindset. You can't approach these bitches now. They might think you some kind of stalker or some nonsense. But I blame the city. I blame the people, actually. These nutcases in the subway carrying on, pushing people off the platform. So I think that's why women, they're like they're restricted now. And I mean, that's perfectly fine because I think that people messed up for the people. But I think that people always going to need money in their pocket, and with the rising cost of rent and groceries and everything under the sun, even new cars now, they cost as much as a damn Porsche, a brand new Porsche or a BMW or Mercedes back in the late 90s. I've made this statement before in my previous videos. That should be more reason for y'all bitches to be out here. How you not gonna be out here and everything is we pretty much in the damn recession. And God forbid if If Trump, if he actually implements this stuff, you know, consolidating the federal government, laying off all these people, closing out all these apartments, y'all gonna have no choice but to be out here. And so I just made this video for y'all young guys so you could know how it was back around the turn of the century in the new millennium. How it was nice out here. Now it's all watered down. It's like everything. Everything is watered down, man. Nothing is what it used to be. But I'm optimistic. I haven't really been to Brooklyn. I haven't been to Staten Island because their world, is far away from the Bronx. If you drive and you got to take the Bruckner to the FDR to the BQE just to get to certain parts to parts of Brooklyn and Staten Island, you got to do all that, then go over that damn bridge. And that bridge is $20 both ways. It's actually one way. When you go back into Brooklyn, you don't pay. You just pay one way, but still $20 just to go to a part of the same one part of the same damn city that you live in is ridiculous. I haven't been to Staten Island. I said I would go, but it's with work and stuff, it's hard. But I think I need to go out there, see some of these chicks out there. But I think I'm gonna do Brooklyn before anything, and probably parts of Queens, and particularly Roosevelt Avenue. Anyway, I'm gonna end this video, and I really hope that these chicks come to their senses because y'all should be out here. There's no excuse.